Because we're surrounded by guidelines, we're told how much we should be drinking, told how much fruit and veg we should be eating, how many steps we should be taking, how much exercise we should be doing, how much time we should be sleeping, how much time we should be sitting. So there's guidelines everywhere, but there are no guidelines yet as to just how much screen time is kind of acceptable for us, although that's changing, slowly changing, and there is some research coming out. Because it seems that kind of for humans, we're not very good at multitasking. We might think that we're multitasking, but in fact all we do is just jump from one task to the next. And for us, having focus and having calm is incredibly important. It's incredibly important for our mental well-being, and it's also important in terms of being able to do tasks well. We know that when we are distracted by emails and by other messages as we're doing a task, we effectively lose 10 IQ points. So our ability to do a piece of work, to do a report, diminishes by the equivalent of 10 IQ points just by being distracted. And with their constant kind of interferences, constant pings and dings and distractions, mobile phones are exactly placed to be able to kind of do that. And I think that kind of if used with intention, these can be amazing devices for mental health, for mental fitness. And it's really interesting to think about kind of where this could take us. I was thinking that we hear a lot about the proverbial stressed out city executives. We hear a lot about the corporate lawyers. We hear a lot about the investment bankers. We hear a lot about the high flyers in the city in Canary Wharf. And these people do have huge, huge stresses. They do have massive demands on them. And many of the services, particularly in the private sector, are geared around this population. And I think one of the reasons is that they have the bupa, they have the Nuffield, they have the ability to pay, whether or not they choose to use it is another matter. But certainly from a private point of view, and I saw this when I was at the Priory, there's a lot of focus given to that population, and that's fine, they need it. But I think there's another population out there. I think there's a hidden army of people out there whose needs go under the radar and go pretty much completely unrecognized. And that's a sort of a ticking time bomb of people really at the front line, people on the sharp end, people in the food service industry, people in call centers. I mean, call centers, brutal. Brutal. Try to think, rejection on a minute-by-minute basis. People in care work, people in reception, people in public transport, public sector jobs, invariably low-paid jobs, physically demanding, repetitive, stressful, dealing with the public. And these people certainly don't have the means to take part in private healthcare. And the NHS very often isn't there for people. The NHS is really just geared around psychosis and active suicide. So they're left. And I think that if there was some way that smartphones or that a service using a smartphone could deliver maybe not completely bespoke, but semi-bespoke nuggets, bite-sized nuggets of information targeted at people, what they needed, when they needed, where they needed, that could be transformational. There are a lot of other services out there like Headspace and Calm and Mood Gym and stuff, but that's rather generic. And I think that's something that was tailored around the needs of these particular people and somehow tailored around kind of the content tailored to specific stresses that they face. That could be transformational. So that's what I'm excited about, and I think there are huge opportunities here as well as downsides.